I think at Lalande we try to focus on cuisine and ambiance that nobody else is doing in this city, which sets us apart. And we try to execute it at a 4-star level of quality and preparations. A lot of my staff is very young. They go to culinary school. They're very into what they do. The cuisine at Lalande I would interpret as a modern French Asian cuisine. Classical preparations and techniques using Asian accents and elements to highlight the dishes. Our dining room is simple but elegant and very vibrant. I think the food at Lalande speaks in that same tone. It's simple, it's elegant, it's assertive though.
So Netta, you absolutely rave about the food at Lalande.
Yes.
Tell us why.
It's not just the food, it's the entire experience from the moment you walk in the door till the moment you leave. I had so many bad experiences dining in Chicago, and then I went into Lalande and it was like a breath of fresh air. Yeah,
It's
I didn't
kind of
wait.
like dating, isn't it?
It really was. In that respect, it was a delightful surprise. I didn't have to wait for my reservation. They escorted me directly to my table. Service was cooperative. It wasn't like I have only one person taking care of me. Anyone who passed by, if they thought we needed something, they offered us, whether it was, do you need a drink? Do you need your waiter? Whatever it is. And then the food, I mean, superb.
How would you describe the food? I think the best label is Asian avant-garde.
I would definitely say that's accurate, but it's a fusion. You know, they don't forget that it's French Vietnamese, so it's a combination of the two. And they just bring out these flavors that you just don't necessarily think of putting together.
I would never think of putting them together. It was just an interesting experience, but the one thing you said is about everybody being cooperative. The experience I had, unfortunately, I'm a big drinker, water or whatever it happens to be for the night, and they never filled my glass.
Really?
Never. They never
I'm
asked me if
surprised.
I wanted another drink from the bar. I actually had to ask for more water, so that was the negative of it.
Wow.
But
I'm
I have to
surprised.
agree with you on the other part of it, because it was a charming experience for me. You know, they did pay attention. The wait staff seemed to really know about the foods and the
Yes.
flavors. The manager took a real interest in what I was eating and actually came and explained everything, because I would never have known.
I found the service superb. Actually, it was very. They were very attentive, and you know, for the price point, they should be. But I was a little confused by actually the flavors in the menu. It was sort of. I go to some Vietnamese restaurants sort of in the the North Broadway Argyle area quite often, and so I know what Vietnamese is, and I sort of know what French Vietnamese is, but I was a little confused by some of the menu choices. I did think all the food was prepared very well, but some of the flavors were a little odd to me.
Well, the history of the restaurant, it's a collaboration between Arun from Arun's, which Thai, and the Roland Liccioni, French, of course, but his Vietnamese heritage. But it's interesting, the chef actually is Andy Moto, and so he is doing more of that, like I said, the avant-garde. So you have things like the consomme, which I know you enjoyed,
Yeah,
where
that
they
was
bring it at the
great.
table and you open it up.
Oh,
and
I did not like that.
You did?
Really?
Why?
I didn't. First of all, I'm going to be just perfectly honest with you. I did not like the consomme. It was a little salty for me. It was not for my taste. The other thing about it, and this is, I thought it was a little pretentious. I'm a home cook, and I make lots of soups. That's a specialty in our house is soups, and I smelled the soup and the broth and everything like that. But when my server came out with a bowl and a bag in the bowl, and he opened it in front of me, and it's like, and he stood over me and said, "Sniff the aroma," and I'm like, it's a bag of soup. But when we got to the entrees, man, they know how to throw down with some fish there.
Netta, what do you like to get there?
This time I had the lamb. I was like, oh, let me try something new.
That's what I ordered.
And the lamb was great.
I happened to have asparagus soup, and I just thought how they delivered the soup was wonderful. One of my friends had the red snapper. To be honest with you, it was so beautiful. I liked the taste, and the presentation was great.
You know what I'd have a taste for there?
What?
Their desserts. I had a strawberry souffle that
great.
was
Yeah.
that's some good stuff. And then Steve, my partner, had the trio of ice cream. and
Yeah,
one of
that
them
was
was a dark
spectacular.
chocolate cardamom ice cream that was the best ice cream I think I've ever had.
I've never had a vodka cranberry as good as that one that day. So yeah, it was one of the places I would go for a drink.
If somebody says to you, oh, that's probably just, Thai food just made more fancy or Vietnamese food made more fancy.
It's definitely not, because you can tell the chef put a lot of effort into coming up with the menu and putting it all together so that everything on your plate not only is presented in a certain way, but goes together properly.
Pip, being in theater and comedy, tell us about the stage. I mean, the decor and ambience of the
It's a
restaurant.
beautiful restaurant. It is so beautiful. I mean, what's distinctive about the restaurant is when you first walk in, I think they have like 3 dragons inside the restaurant.
That's actually part of Vietnamese culture. So it
Is
has
it?
5 fingers, represents 5 aspects of life.
Do you know what Le Lan means? I asked.
No.
They took the le from French, and it means the, and lan is orchid,
beautiful?
meaning that it's the orchid. And did you notice there were fresh orchids on all
Sure,
the
at every
tables?
table.
And then the green tile represents grass. The brown banisters on top represents a Thai temple. And then the circle in the window,
I face towards the window.
yeah, that's the moon.
Oh,
That's what that
lovely.
is. Oh, that's even better when you know that, isn't it?
sure.
All right, Netta, this was your selection. Give us a summary.
Leilan, not only do you get excellent service, the food is something to be talked about, but I think it makes you want to go back for one piece or the other.
All right, Susan?
Well, going back for one piece or the other is what I would do. I'd definitely go back for soup and appetizers, and definitely that drink again, cranberry and vodka.
Pip?
If you have a special occasion or something that you want to celebrate, I would go there. It's a little bit pricey, but the entrees were great. Appetizers, not so great for me.
Strawberry souffle.
Strawberry souffle, yeah, that's out of the box.
Well, you can see the Dragons and more at Lalon, 749 North Clark Street, 312-280-9100. Open for dinner every day except Sunday. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $45.